Part 210. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2091. I was wrong. Lord Murong. It's all my fault. I uttered wild words. You spare me, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. The young master of Kiyao Pavilion, Shanju, trembled his lips, covered in blood and sweat, and was in a state of extreme panic. If he had been given a chance to choose again, he might not have set foot on this battleship at all. Click. A bone-cracking sound came again. I saw the head of the young master of the Kiyao Pavilion, Shanju, directly landed on the ground. Those eyes were wide open, as if showing the extreme unwillingness in his heart. But no matter how unwilling it is at this moment, I can only choose to bear it silently. The young master of the Kiyao Pavilion maliciously slandered the bishop, and has now been executed by the bishop. This bishop is taking you to Guangming Academy to participate in the admissions assessment. I wanted to have a smooth journey, but some people just want to make trouble. From now on, if my bishop hears such nonsense again, he will be severely punished. As soon as Murong Yu, the third-rank red-clothed archbishop of the first-class Light Alliance Temple, said, his eyes gradually gathered in his eyes. As he spoke, the coldness became more and more intense, with a gnawing oppressive force, as if he could people are instantly wrapped and devoured. At this moment, how can all the melon-eating people around dare to be disrespectful? They all fell into silence. The young master of Kiyao Pavilion, Shanju, is an example. Now this guy is dead. Speaking of which, his father is still a saint. Even if this Murong Hongai archbishop didn't show face, if it were them, wouldn't they kill him every minute? Now they are all in a posture of saving the dog's life. Jingzhan, the godson of the Temple of the Light Alliance in the Qingtian Sanctuary, who was standing by the side, was already so frightened that his legs went limp. He was also involved in this matter just now. This time, Fang Fan broke both of his arms before he calmed down a bit. Just now he just had a little patience, otherwise he might have gone to make trouble with that young master of the Kiyao Pavilion, Danju. If they really do this, then their endings will probably be similar. Thinking of this, the young master of the Kiyao Pavilion was covered in cold sweat, his clothes were completely soaked at this moment, and he couldn't speak to himself. It was difficult to express the panic in my heart. Now I can only tremble and express my helplessness and speechlessness. Fang Fan, come with me. Murong Yu glanced at Fang Fan suddenly, and said immediately. Fang Fan was taken aback for a moment. What does this mean? Is it possible to retaliate against him? Speaking of which, although Murong Yu suppressed those rumors with his own strong means, rumors are fiercer than tigers. Some things, the more you suppress them, the more they will rebound. No matter how you say this rumor is also implicated with him, now you don't want to avoid suspicion, but you want to call yourself? Seeing this, do you still want to get along alone? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, inexplicably feeling a little surprised. Owner. The little slave girl Xueling grabbed Fang Fan's arm with a worried look on her face, even she could see that something was wrong. Fang Fan shrugged, patted the little head of the little slave girl Xueling, sent him a reassuring look, and then followed in strides. Although Fang Fan appeared to be as indifferent as water on the surface, he was actually panicking in his heart. Who knows if this woman will suddenly turn around and attack him with the combat power of the Holy State. Even if Fang Fan has 9 lives, Fang Fan will be indifferent in an instant. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2092. Fang Fan is ready to directly enter the small world of Shushan Pavilion at any time. In any case, the most important thing is to save his own life. As for the rest, that's complete nonsense. I can't save my life, and it's useless to say 1,000 words and 10,000. Fang Fan followed behind Murong Yu, and then they entered the first-class room of the battleship, which was also the room where Murong Yu rested. Fang Fan's eyes glanced at Murong Yu's plump figure, and he began to mutter inwardly. Don't dare to slack off at this moment. Those rumors. You spread it? Did you just want to talk nonsense outside because you had some conversations with me? Murong Yu stared directly at him with icy cold eyes, as if he was interrogating, mixed with a sense of helplessness. Fang Fan pouted, he thought it was something. So she was pulled over to ask questions. Not my business. I never talked about that. Master Murong, don't worry, there will always be some tough guys in this world, they are used to arrange these things. For these people, just keep them at arm's length, and don't need to pay too much attention. Fang Fan nodded secretly, and said very sincerely. Is it? Then you have never thought about this in your heart? Even if it's only for a moment. Think about it before answering. If you say that you have thought about it, maybe I can still fulfill your wish. Murong Yu suddenly smiled charmingly, and then habitually stretched out his tender fingers and walked over to pick Fang Fan's chin. Fang Fan. This woman is playing with fire. Is it such a naked temptation? This infinite style, who is it for? The more this kind of time, the more Fang Fan can't relax his vigilance. He heard a saying a long time ago, women are used to deceiving, and the more beautiful a woman is, the more deceitful she is. The red-clothed Archbishop of the first-class Temple of the Alliance of Light in front of him is full of charm, with a plump figure and exquisite and delicate features. It should be the image of a beautiful goddess in the minds of men. The place that should be thin is thin, and the place that should be plump is not bad at all. When she said this, Fang Fan became more vigilant. Fang Fan doesn't want to think about dying under the peony flower and being a ghost or something. I'm putting all my heart into cultivation right now, and I only hope that during the admissions assessment of Guangming Academy, I can successfully help our Qingtian Sanctuary Guangming Alliance Temple to win 100 places for students from the Inner Palace. This is not in vain. Master Murong's gambling. All I'm thinking about are the 3 promises made by Master Murong. As for the rest, form is emptiness and form, that's all. Fang Fan directly changed the subject, his expression suddenly became extremely solemn. At this moment, Murong Yu, the red-clothed Archbishop of the first-class Temple of the Alliance of Light, suddenly stretched out his hand and grabbed the belt on Fang Fan's chest. Then he pulled and walked directly towards the bed. Fang Fan opened his mouth, now he is very embarrassed, whether to resist or not to resist. Do you choose to hide directly in the small world of Shushan Pavilion and come in alone, or stay as a mountain and let it be disposed of? Master Murong, this is not good. Outsiders are watching. Fang Fan's face was dark, although they said that they were in the first-class room of this large flying battleship at the moment, but what happened before, I don't know how many pairs of eyes are staring at this place. The slightest movement here will be known to everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2093. What does that matter? Don't they just like to spread such gossip? Whether you did it or not, it's actually the same. What? Are you, looking down on me? Murong Yu turned Fang Fan around and pressed him on the bed. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth twitched, he really had no chance to resist. Women are strong and men are weak, it's too difficult. Master Murong, you should restrain yourself, if you do this again, I will call. Fang Fan's face darkened, thinking in his heart, after recruiting Murong Yu as his second female slave, he must teach her a lesson. Today's incident is simply a great shame. Call. Don't worry, I've deployed soundproofing equipment around, even if you yell out your throat, no one will be able to hear you. Mirong smiled indifferently, and the skin on his body gradually began to turn red. Fang Fan. He suddenly felt something was wrong. Although he feels that he is extremely charming, he should not be able to handle a strong female saint in a matter of minutes. What are people trying to figure out about him? Just to make him look better? Manly. Stronger charm? How powerful is the special combat power? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows. If calculated in this way, he seems to have many advantages. But in this situation, Mirong reaction is very wrong. Even, so active. The white and tender skin gradually turned red, and when touched, it felt good. Have you been drugged? Fang Fan frowned, and then reminded him. Whirring. Don't touch me. Mirong suddenly sat on the bed with his legs circled, and then growled with trembling lips. Fang Fan inexplicably felt inexplicable. Quick, give me some cold water, ice cubes. There was a problem with the water I drank before. Someone wants to ruin my reputation. Hateful. Mirong woke up suddenly, and while talking, his body trembled more and more. Originally, she wanted to make a joke with Fang Fan, but when the joke was on, she found that she was about to lose control of her body, and desperately wanted to move towards Fang Fan, as if skin-to-skin contact with Fang Fan would make him feel better. She felt a little cold. The hot feeling all over her body surged into her heart, almost causing her to explode directly. At this moment, she is like a volcano that is about to erupt at any time. Fang Fan frowned silently. Is this something to worry about? Seeing the pained look on Mirong face, this special medicine actually made a saint like her fall for it. How powerful is the drugged enemy? Fang Fan silently felt that he had fallen into a dangerous vortex. But right now, I can only worry about the current situation. Fang Fan took clear water from the small world of Shushan Pavilion and poured it directly on her body. Surprisingly, the clear water instantly turned into water vapor and evaporated on Mirong body. One can imagine how much energy is gathering in Mirong body at this moment. Fang Fan took a deep breath, his gaze flickered, and various thoughts gathered in his mind. He put his hands together in front of him, and then poured out the clear water in the small world of Shushan Pavilion. Gradually, even an entire river was sucked dry. Fang Fan opened his mouth, completely shocked at this moment. Is this the terror of a strong man in the Holy Realm? Steamed up a river with the heat of his body in minutes? The key body is still the same as before, as if it has never been touched by water droplets. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2094. Not good. A strong man in the holy state is approaching. It's him. Damn it. This toxin must have been injected by him. This bastard. You run away first. Even if I die with him today, I won't let him succeed. Mirong clenched his teeth, and while talking, his body trembled unnaturally. All kinds of thoughts gathered in his mind, and he made up his mind completely. Fang Fan subconsciously raised his eyebrows, and at this moment he also felt a powerful spiritual pressure coming here. Only the existence of the Holy Venerable Realm can make Mirong, who is strong in the Holy Venerable Realm, change his face when he hears it. And now Mirong's state is obviously not right. If he tries to resist forcefully, there is a high probability that he will be obliterated. Fang Fan frowned silently. The plan couldn't keep up with the changes. If Mirong died, the plan to open a second female slave position would be completely ruined. The bonus effect of the second female slave can allow him to permanently increase his combat power by 1 level. Fang Fan took a deep breath, his eyes flickered suddenly. At this moment, in fact, he and Mirong have already boarded the same boat. If the ship sank, he wouldn't survive. But at this moment, that powerful spiritual pressure is getting closer. Go. Follow me. Don't resist the consciousness, I will take you away. Fang Fan said directly to Murongyu with a dark face. What are you doing? If you don't leave, you will die. The bishop asked you to leave. Didn't you hear? I know you want to keep me out of danger, but this time I really can't do it. Murongyu let out a miserable laugh, with a look of helplessness on his face. Grass. I told you to let go of your consciousness and let go of your consciousness. How come there are so many nonsense? If you don't leave, both of us will be cold. Hurry up. Fang Fan roared angrily, and then slapped Murongyu's buttocks directly. What time is it now, still here ink blots? Ink a hammer. Is this the time of the ink blot? I'm going to explode with my mentality in minutes, okay. Whether you can hold on depends on this wave. You dare to yell at me. Still hitting me. You. Murongyu's lips trembled, and the rosy color on his face became more and more at this moment. Who is she? She is a powerful saint. The first-class archbishop in red at the Temple of the Alliance of Light. The status of the priesthood is higher than that of the Pope of the General Third-Class Alliance Temple. This guy is at best, he's a quasi-sage, he's not even in the sanctuary, yet he treats her like this. Murongyu suddenly felt that he was wronged now. At this moment, Fang Fan has already ignored it, and time is running out. This Murongyu didn't let go of his consciousness, he couldn't take her away at all. Seeing Murongyu's aggrieved face at this moment, Fang Fan slapped him again angrily. Murongyu's body and mind trembled, a gap appeared in her consciousness, and then Fang Fan seized her in an instant, and took her away from where she was, into the small world of Shushan Pavilion. The moment they had just left, a middle-aged man with red hair rushed over excitedly, but when he saw that there was no one inside, his expression changed drastically. Asshole! Asshole! Where are the people? Where are the people? Murongyu. Come out! Come out to this deity! Damn it! Murongyu's medicinal properties have already kicked in. Just now I clearly felt that she was here. Who messed up the deity's good deeds? Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 2095. Murongyu gritted her teeth, and then stared at Fang Fan like this. The things that happened before are still vivid in her memory. She can't imagine what stupid things she did. Although I hate to admit it, it is the truth. With the facts in front of her eyes, she was too helpless. At this moment, my head is buzzing, and I have fallen into a state of speechlessness. I am the Cardinal Archbishop of the First-Class Temple of the Alliance of Light. You treat me like this. Have you eaten the heart of a bear? Do you know that I can kill you in minutes? Snapped. Before Murongyu could finish his ruthless words, Fang Fan slapped him in the face. What the hell? Labor and management have worked so hard to save you, at the expense of self, and at the expense of a huge sum of 50 million yuan to buy a holy level yang strengthening card. Now that your body has recovered and your consciousness has recovered, why don't you drag me on this? There is nothing that one big ear scraper can't solve, if there is, it's two big ear scrapers. You dare to hit me? Do you know what you're doing? Even your Pope would not dare to be so rude in front of me. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. While Murongyu was speaking, he immediately rushed forward, wanting to launch a full-scale counterattack. It's just that her counterattack was useless to Fang Fan. In the big world outside, she is a strong person in the Holy Realm, who can crush Fang Fan 10,000 times. In the small world of Shushan Pavilion, she is still a saint, but Fang Fan is indeed the supreme creator god. He can control everything here. Want to toss here, is it possible? Mirangyu's resistance would only be self-defeating. Fang Fan changed his posture, then sat directly on Mirangyu's back, stretched out his hand indifferently, and slapped his buttocks viciously. The more you fight, the more angry you get, the more you fight, the more unhappy. Co-authoring this means saving a white-eyed wolf? I saved you just now, and now you are going to be cold-hearted to me? Fang Fan's face was dark, and he couldn't help but exert more force. Fang Fan. You bastard. You bastard. Fang Fan. You, let me go. Ah, I don't want it anymore. Fang Fan. Let me go. You are killing yourself, I warn you not to play with fire. Fang Fan. Now it's Mirangyu's turn to be filled with despair. In the small world of Shushan Pavilion, Fang Fan crushes all dissatisfied existences. Dissatisfied. Hang and beat. Crushed in minutes. Erase everything in minutes. Dare to continue to be arrogant? Then keep fighting back. Surrender until the end. After tossing and tossing, Fang Fan became boring. All kinds of postures have been tossed, and at this moment, more than half of the 100 hours of the holy level impotence card have passed. Fang Fan's eyes suddenly lit up. This may be an opportunity. If you want to open the number 2 female slave position, you must verbally agree to it from Mirangyu. If you are in the big world outside, don't let her verbally agree. I am afraid that even if this matter is mentioned, it will explode in minutes. But this is the small world of Shushan Pavilion, and it's my territory. When the number 2 female slave position is activated, the bonus buff of the number 2 female slave will be increased, permanently increase the combat power of a level. Such a temptation is really irresistible. Fang Fan took a deep breath, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help turning up. This is an excellent opportunity. It would be a real pity if you missed it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2096. Be my slave girl. Fang Fan stared at Mirangyu solemnly and said. At this moment, Mirangyu, who was being tossed to death, turned his body subconsciously, and his body twitched and trembled unnaturally. The beautiful lines are inexplicably eye-catching amidst the trembling. At this moment, she turned her head to look at Fang Fan, her eyes were full of disbelief. She didn't expect Fang Fan to say such a thing. Who is she? She is the third-rank red-clothed Archbishop of the First-Class Light Alliance Temple in the Sanctuary of the Sky. Or the mentor of Guangming Academy, who can match his status. The popes of the third-class Sanctuary of the Light Alliance Temple nodded and bowed to show respect when they saw her. But she just heard from Fang Fan's mouth that, want her to be a slave girl. The greatest skater in the world. It's ridiculous. From Mirangyu's point of view, this is simply impossible. She has her pride, and she has the confidence to be a powerful saint. Although I can't resist you now, it is absolutely impossible for you to make me your slave girl. You kill me. I can't give in. You just die of this heart. Mirangyu had a cold and arrogant face, while talking at the moment, his eyes flickered one after another, his hands were folded in front of him, all kinds of thoughts gathered in his mind, and the twitching of the corners of his mouth became more and more intense. Are you rejecting? You should know, if you reject me, you will be punished. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, which was within his expectation. If Mirangyu suddenly agreed like this, then he is not used to it. It seemed a little treacherous to agree too quickly. As it is now, it's actually pretty good. Anyway, he has plenty of time. This is the small world of Shushan Pavilion, where the flow of time is 10 times faster than that of the outside world. If you stay here for 10 days, it will only take 1 day for the outside world, so you don't have to worry about running out of time. And at this moment, the 100-hour period for the first holy level Yang strengthening card has come. Mirong breathed a sigh of relief silently, and his clenched fists couldn't help but loosen. This catastrophic moment is finally over. A smile appeared on the corner of Mirong mouth, and he looked at Fang Fan with a look of embarrassment, and then curled his lips in disapproval. That's it? Is this what you call punishment? Ridiculous. I thought it was amazing. Mirong raised his head proudly, with a proud look, and his words were full of posture. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, making it even more interesting. The end you thought might just be the beginning. I'll ask you again, are you willing to be my slave girl? Think carefully, or you may regret it later. Fang Fan stretched out his hand and raised Mirong's jaw, his eyes were extremely indifferent. Don't even think about it. Fang Fan. I am the first-class Archbishop in Red from the Temple of the Alliance of Light, and I am also the instructor of the Guangming Academy. If you want to become a student of the Guangming Academy, you'd better be polite to me. You should know that I have the ability to cancel your qualifications. Mirong took a deep breath, still pretending to be strong at this moment. After seeing Fang Fan's playful gaze, she felt inexplicably flustered, as if something was about to explode. And she is still in a state of complete ignorance at this moment, unable to control herself at all, her whole head is buzzing, and she has a feeling of ignorance. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2097. Is it? Until now, you are still coercing me. Should I say that you have extraordinary courage, or should I say that you are beyond your control? Fang Fan clenched his fists tightly, his eyes flickered as he spoke, he put his hands together in front of him, and then continued to take out a holy level Yang enhancing card. The 100-hour holy level impotence card, once used, will explode completely. Continue to use. Ah! Fang Fan's eyes widened, and there were bursts of brittle sounds from all over his body. As he spoke, Fang Fan's eyes flickered more and more, various thoughts gathered in his mind, and his body trembled more and more. Fang Fan took a deep breath, and the corners of his mouth suddenly rose. You, what are you going to do? You crazy, perverted. No. Don't, I don't want, don't. Ah! There was a roar piercing the sky, and the next 100 hours of battle continued. In the beginning, this Mirong still maintained her arrogance, and even wanted to yell at Fang Fan, but gradually, her complexion became as white as paper, and she couldn't even scream. The previous exuberant energy has completely collapsed. Fang Fan, inhuman. Let go of me, please, I really can't stand it. Mirong slowly clasped his hands together, then let them go silently. At this moment, his whole body was weak, and the color of fear gathered in his eyes. So, are you willing to be my slave girl? Fang Fan leaned down, and while talking, his grinning gesture was vividly displayed. From beginning to end, his purpose is only this one. Mirong gritted his teeth, feeling full of shame at this moment. She felt that she had been humiliated, but she couldn't resist. Her whole body was on the verge of breaking out, but she couldn't do anything. This guy in front of me is scary, so scary. Time and time again, it frightened him, made it difficult for her to speak, and even made her twitch suddenly in her mind. Don't worry, think slowly. I've never been willing to force people to go against my will. Don't worry, no matter what decision you make, I will respect your decision, and I will definitely not hurt your life, there is no doubt about it. Fang Fan stretched out his hand and patted Mirong's cheek, then said sincerely. At this moment, Fang Fan felt inexplicably that he was really a kind person. Looking at Fang Fan's calm expression, Mirong gritted his teeth and was speechless. She had never seen such a brazen person. Is this called not persecution? This is obviously more painful than having a sword on your neck, okay. It is really not satisfying to do some things for a few seconds or a few minutes, but you can't continue to do dozens or even hundreds of hours. Who can support this? The impact again and again, the soul throbbing again and again. Mirong felt that he was on the verge of collapse. I do. Mirong was weeping, his mentality completely collapsed at this moment. While speaking, his lips trembled unnaturally, his eyes were full of tears, and he looked helpless. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth twitched. Why did he feel like he was being forced into prostitution at this moment? But obviously he suffered the greatest grievance. He was also forced to endure so much that his age shouldn't bear. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2098. At first Fang Fan really just wanted to save people. It's just that this woman doesn't know the heart of a good person. It's fine if she's not grateful, and she still wants to take revenge. Can this be tolerated? Fang Fan will teach her how to be a human being every minute. What do you want? Fang Fan felt the progress of the system task recruit another female slave, but there was no response. Obviously, it is not enough to just say that you are willing, and you need to be more specific. Fang Fan. Don't push yourself too hard. This Holy One has given you enough face to satisfy your shameless perversion. Mirong clenched his red lips tightly, and streaks of blood even flowed out. Fang Fan shrugged, the long march is almost over, so don't get stuck here at the end, okay? So, you still reluctantly. Hey, let's forget it. Since that's the case, let's shoot and break up. Fang Fan got stuck and walked away silently. At this moment Mirong blinked, feeling unreal all over his eyes. It's just that simple? That's a compromise. Why is there such a big deviation from what she imagined? It always feels not quite right. What is it with even a feeling of emptiness? I always feel empty in my heart, want to say something but don't know where to start. You don't go. I want to. After Mirong said this, even he was shocked. She was praying for the man in front of her. The man who brought her endless humiliation. Has her heart been twisted? Why does it feel so real? Could it be that she has already recognized the title of so-called slave girl in her heart? Even, want to show it with actual behavior? Mirong clenched his fists, then quickly shook his head. No. No way. Absolutely impossible to be like this. She is the supreme powerhouse of the holy state. She is the noble third-rank red-clothed archbishop of the first-class Light Alliance Temple, and she is the glorious mentor of the Bright Academy. Even, she comes from a prominent ethnic group. All of these are summed up, and she is the character who is perfect in one body. Her self-esteem made it impossible for her to act like this. But you haven't finished what you said just now. You know who I am. I don't like to listen to others talking, otherwise I will feel uncomfortable in my heart. Once I feel uncomfortable, I will naturally lose interest. Why? Pity. Fang Fan stretched his waist, expressing his wishes. Now it is at the last juncture, and Jingzhou must not be careless. It is to break through Mirong's last psychological defense. In order to open the number 2 female slave position, Fang Fan really took great pains. Mirong looked at Fang Fan's reluctance, his face was flickering with anger, wishing he could jump over and beat Fang Fan up. But the strange feeling coming from her body made her gradually lose all self-esteem. At this moment, I was completely in a state of collapsed consciousness, my eyes flickered, the corners of my mouth twitched, and my thoughts suddenly burst out. I would like to. I am willing to be your slave girl. It's all right. Little bastard. I won't let you go. Murong gritted his teeth as he spoke, and immediately rushed towards Fang Fan, and then made a gesture to press Fang Fan under him. The urgent look was too real. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2099. Murong opened his mouth and fell into silence again. With such a brazen person, she really can't say anything to refute. Even if you get my person, you won't get my heart. Murong gritted his teeth and said, as if he wanted to fight back against Fang Fan. It's enough for me to get your people. Fang Fan said with a smile on his face. The effect of the number 2 female slave position has been revealed at this moment. Originally, he was in the quasi-sacred realm, but now he can display a 1-star sanctuary combat power without any buff bonus. The special effect of the number 2 female slave position is that it can permanently increase Fang Fan's combat power by 1 level. The goal has been achieved, and other Fang Fans don't care so much. As for Murong at the side, he was still gnashing his teeth angrily. Are you going to stay here forever? It may have become a mess outside. Fang Fan shrugged and said casually. According to the date, now, 8 or 9 days should have passed by now. According to the speed of a large flying warship, it may have entered the sanctuary of the sky at this moment. If the flying battleship has already arrived at Guangming Academy, but I have never appeared, the Academy will definitely investigate thoroughly. How should I explain? Murong frowned, and while speaking, his eyes trembled unnaturally. At this moment, he was caught in a comprehensive thought. From her point of view, this matter is too complicated, and it will even bring her extremely deep harm. Not to mention anything else, a charge of dereliction of duty will definitely not escape. If the Academy conducts another thorough investigation, she will have no way to argue. Is it possible that she will tell the people of Guangming Academy that she and this bastard have been messing around here for 8 or 9 days? Not only shameful. And no one should believe that someone has such a powerful ability. Don't worry, it's only a day and a night outside. In this place we are in, the flow of time is 10 times faster than the outside world. My little slave girl will keep this little secret for me. Otherwise, you know how you will be punished. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth were slightly raised, and while talking, he stretched out his hand to scrape Murong's small nose. Murong's body and mind trembled slightly, and the expression of gnashing his teeth was extremely real. Now I can't wait to rush over and give Fang Fan a hard blow, but when I have such thoughts in my heart, there is another voice in my heart trying to stop myself. At this moment, these two kinds of consciousness are frantically entangled in her mind, which makes her feel like her soul is trembling. Time flow rate, 10 times. Sure enough, as I guessed, here is indeed a brand new small world, and it is also a small world where the flow of time is accelerated. You really have a lot of secrets. If you say that you are from those ancient families in the Sky Sanctuary, I believe it, but if you say that you come from a third-class Jingtian Sanctuary, that's unbelievable. Murong's eyes scanned Fang Fan's body, and there was a strange light in his beautiful eyes. The strange feeling that Fang Fan brought to him was really too strong. The more I got in touch with Fang Fan the more I realized that he couldn't figure it out. It was as if there was an invisible and intangible hidden shield around his body. Little slave girl, don't be too curious about me, curiosity is the beginning of falling in love with me. Obviously, this is doomed to no avail. Because you can only be a little slave girl all the time. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2100. Fang Fan shrugged and said sincerely. Mirong Yu glared at Fang Fan angrily. She had some feelings about Fang Fan's shamelessness. Let's go out. Ah. Mirong Yu originally wanted to get up, but suddenly his brows frowned, his body trembled unnaturally, the sound of breathing in was particularly strong, and his whole body felt throbbing pain. Especially the middle position, it seems to be completely torn apart. After going through 200 hours of frenzied fighting, some injuries are unavoidable. Fang Fan shrugged, silently supported Mirong Yu, and then took 2 steps forward. How is it? Is it better? Fang Fan couldn't bear to see Mirong Yu's twitching face. After all, Mirong Yu's injuries were indeed caused by him. Use this holy healing card. Helping your injury. Fang Fan exhaled a foul breath, then said indifferently. Holy level healing card. Mirong Yu was stunned for a moment, with a look of astonishment on her face. She had never seen this kind of card before, so naturally she didn't know its effect. Besides, she is a cultivator of Saint Venerable Realm, and what can heal her injuries are some extremely precious elixir. Mirong Yu dubiously put the holy healing card in his hand, and then the holy healing card turned into a white light that spread around her body, mainly concentrated on her torn wound. It's true, it really doesn't hurt that much. This card really has an effect. What an amazing thing. Although Mirong Yu was still trembling when he walked at the moment, it was obviously much better than before. How could it not be completely cured? This holy healing card has also started to be mixed with water. Fang Fan was stunned for a moment, he only got this from the auction system before. In the auction system, do you still need the Holy Venerable Healing Card? The target of the Holy Healing Card is 1-star Sanctuary to 8-star Sanctuary cultivators. When you reach the Saint Venerable Realm, it's another world. I see. As for the price of the Saint level healing card. For it. Fang Fan just glanced at it briefly, then turned his head silently. After confirming the price, it was something he couldn't afford at the moment. Mirong Yu's curious eyes continued to look at Fang Fan, and the curious expression on his face became more real. Tilting his head at this moment, he felt that Fang Fan's sense of mystery had added another layer. With her knowledge, what panacea hasn't been seen before? But for this kind of card that can effectively treat injuries, this is the first time I have seen it. Moreover, it can also effectively treat a cultivator of the Holy Venerable Realm. This is even more treacherous. Mirong Yu was thinking in his heart, his eyes were flickering. At this moment, Fang Fan's thoughts moved slightly, and they had reappeared in the first-class cabin of the large flying battleship. Fang Fan felt it carefully, and there was no strong aura like before. It seems that the person who drugged Mirong Yu has left here. Who's that person? Fang Fan narrowed his eyes and glanced at Mirong Yu, and asked directly. To be able to trick someone like Mirong Yu who is in the Holy Realm, obviously the opponent's strength is not low. Why should I tell you? In that small world, I had to suffer from you, but now that I've come to my home court, do you think I'll let you control me? The corners of Mirong Yu's mouth were raised, and while talking, he wanted to stretch out his hand to scratch Fang Fan.